Welcome, everybody, to the Golden Goal podcast.
We are getting so close. We're getting so close. So close.
We look happy. Well, at least one of us does.
Well,
Truth
listen.
is, we're not all happy.
No, it's 6-7. It's a half and half.
Good one. And you guys see me a little sweaty because just finished watching the U.S. game, and I was sweating it. Even though if you watch the game, it didn't make sense why I was actually sweating. There was nothing to sweat about.
Dude, let's begin there. Let's start there because I think we're both going to be a little bit more passionate about that game. I don't know and I don't understand, and please explain it to me if you do, why they were able to play like they did the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, but they didn't play like that when they went down 1-0, 2-0.
Well, I have a better question for you. Why couldn't they play that from the beginning? I'm going to start out by saying this. I loved this game. Well, I loved 2 minutes of this game. I loved the first minute before the U.S. completely gave the ball to Belgium and said, "You guys play. We're just not going to show up today." And then I love the minute when the U.S. tied it, and then again said, "Yay, we scored. That's all we need to do." Oh, and they let them score again. Those are the only 2 minutes I enjoyed out of this game.
Dude, I mean, I gotta say, I don't know what happened. I do have a theory. I do have a hypothesis that's gonna be a little bit controversial that I will tell you about a little bit later. But I was sad. I gotta say, I was sad. I thought the U.S. had a shot. I thought they had a chance, and they shot the bed, man. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You know what really surprised me when I saw the starting lineup? I saw that Doku was not there, or De
Kevin,
Bruyne was not
Kevin,
there. So I thought I felt better about the chances of the U.S. I also felt really good about the conversation Trump had with Infantino.
listen. That's where my theory. That's where my
Go
theory
for it,
kind of
please.
comes in.
Bring it,
Look,
bring it,
look.
bring it, please.
I think people are gonna just hear me out. I think the U.S. had been playing beautiful football. I think Pochettino, and I've said it 2 or 3 times before, had done a tremendous mental job in the locker room with these guys, and they believed. Right? Then
Okay.
the red card happens. Balgun gets, not allowed to play. Then all of this happens. It starts to be politicized. It goes outside of football. A resident puts his hand in, and then he comes out and gives an interview where he's like, "Yeah, I made a phone call and I talked to so and so. I didn't tell them what to do because I can't tell them what to do, but the committee made the right decision." Da da da. So once you bring it outside of the game and you get the outside strings pulled, I do think it subconsciously conditions the player in a way you're not expecting it. So now you as the player feeling all that pressure, and not just him, but the entire team, feeling all that pressure, it conditions you and you come out and you start to play like you don't know what the hell is right from left. And that's what it felt like to me the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. I was like, what is going on with their defense? What is going on with the midfield? They just did not seem like a team that knew what they were doing.
So interesting that you're saying that. So you said it conditioned them. Do you feel that way mentally, or you feel like the tactic? What are you thinking?
No, mentally,
Mm,
it puts a lot of added pressure and a lot of when you
mm,
think that had never been done in the history of the World Cup. Yes,
yeah.
it's in the book. Yes, it's in the rules, but it had never been implemented. Now you're doing it to the US because of a Trump phone call to the host nation during the stage that they had never been able to get past. Of course. And this is a team that they have, what do they have? 130-plus-year-old player and everybody else is in their 20s. What kind of pressure do you feel when you're 24, 25, 26 years old after all of that happens and you're somewhere you've never been before? I don't
No,
know.
I can see how that can definitely affect the players. I also think tactically, now that you're thinking about it, there was probably Pepe was going to start. Maybe Reina was going to start in the place of Bongolun. So that's still, even the coach until today thought that he was going to be able to count with certain players and not have other players. So it does
Mhm.
change it. It could be because I got to tell you, the first goal, man. Oh,
Ugh,
I
ugh.
was so frustrated with the first goal. Dest, okay? Just waiting for the ball. That's soccer 101. I don't know.
It
Go
wasn't
ahead.
just him. There was two of them. There was two of them. It was like, what are they waiting for? Like, you're right. The way you looked up just now, it was both of them just kind of looking and waiting for the ball to bounce and opening up the freeway for the Belgian players to just go right through and cross that ball. I did not get that at all.
And we're passionate fans. So when we see plays, I'm sure there's a lot of people like us there that yell out, hey, do this, do that. I remember having the ball up and going, get it. What are you doing? What are you just waiting? Go for it. Try to head it out. I remember saying that and allowed a couple of people too saying, what are you doing? Why are you just in the box? Such a dangerous area, just allowing the ball to bounce. You don't. You go near it. You make it uncomfortable. You do whatever it takes. You take it out. You don't just wait. What
Wait,
good can come from the bounce? There is not, I can't think of one situation where risking having the bounce benefits your team.
it wouldn't. Never, especially inside of the box. Inside of the never, never, never. That's what I'm saying. They were not playing like they'd been playing the prior four games. It just did not look like the same team. Whether you want to blame that on the change of tactics, the mentality, the players that were available, I don't know. But it just did not look like the same team. It looked like amateur Sunday afternoon league.
Looking at the stats, you will see how many shots on goals, how many shots overall Belgium had with their B team, considering that Doku, their biggest star, and their
Kevin,
legend,
Lukaku,
Lukaku.
they were not there.
So you would think it was almost all set up for the US to be able to win. Even you have the striker that couldn't play, he was able to play. And so this is a situation where we just were we just creating false hope in our head? Did we think the US was better than they really were? Or did they peak? They peaked in the first game. What happened, man?
I think you make a valid point with that question. I think it's very similar to what happened to Mexico yesterday. I think these are teams that were playing very well. They played very strongly during the group stage. They had what seemed to be a very positive, strong confidence and conviction. So people were like, they have what it takes to make it past one or two more rounds. But we got to keep in mind that there is a reason why when we get to these sudden death matches, the same teams, generally speaking, make it through and everybody else doesn't. There is like the saying goes, there are levels to this. There are
Mm,
levels to this.
mm.
The US has never made it past this round. Mexico has never made it past this round. Once they get to those levels, there are teams who have it not only physically and tactically, but they also have it here. And I don't think both Mexico and the US have it here yet. They have not understood and had that breakthrough that will allow them to be like, you know what, we're here because we're good enough. I just don't think they're good enough yet.
I think we're being emotional. Going back to Mexico, Mexico had a great World Cup. You should be proud. They
Hmm.
won every game except the England game. The US
Yeah,
lost against Turkey. Was a little questionable, but they did have a lot of bench players. They both had a great World Cup. It's unfortunate
they
that they
had.
weren't able to get further than we had hoped, especially them having the advantage of being a home team. But they both had a great World Cup. It's just unfortunate. We all wanted them to get further than they did.
I
And
think we're emotional. I think we're
yes,
emotional. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right. But I think we also have to say that they did not get further because they're not at the level of a team that would have gotten a step further.
yeah. I know you compare the US game to the Mexico game. It's hard not to because they were in a similar situation, right? They were down a goal and almost ready to be eliminated. Their backs against the wall. And you saw such a different demeanor. Mexico attacked. Maybe you said yesterday they didn't have ideas, but they were attacking. The
Hmm.
US had
They were
the ball,
trying.
but they were not attacking. That's when you really were able to see the difference of talent, I guess, just the difference makers. And it was so sad because I would have loved to have seen Reina play with Pulisic more. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
Pulisic got hurt. I knew right
Hmm.
away that how he got hurt. I've had that same injury in which you're about to kick and you kick it with all your might and somebody moves the ball, and instead of the ball, you hit somebody's leg. To
Or the
me,
ground because he hit the ground.
he hit the ground,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
In my
yeah.
case, was the leg. So you feel your leg right away. I knew that he wasn't going to be able to to continue, and I almost in that moment felt that if even if the U.S. had won somehow, that this was the end of the World Cup for Pulisic. And don't be surprised if later on we hear that he's out for several months.
Wow.
That's a gnarly injury. But aside from those two, you just have these kind of systematic, great athletes, but you don't have any playmakers in the U.S. team.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, I think the midfield in the last few games played a little bit cleaner. They had, like I was saying yesterday, they had ideas. They had, a plan. Today, it didn't feel like they had a plan. You know what I mean? It just felt like they were out there seeing what happens, see what happens. And Belgium, opposite side of the coin, who hadn't been playing their best, they hadn't been having their best World Cup. I feel like today they got it together. I think they got it together. I don't know if not playing Doku, Lukaku, and Kevin from the start was a strategic move because they wanted to rest them or because they wanted younger players on the pitch that would be a little bit more physical and run more. It was one of the two. But whatever reason it was, it definitely threw the US a curveball that they were not ready for. You know what I mean?
Those two reasons that you bring up, Kadir, are very legit. Absolutely, because they have home field advantage. U.S. has been pretty strong playing with the home crowd and having that energy at the beginning of games. So it could be the move to kind of set them off a little bit, or just to have kids who could just run a lot. But you would think that's the opposite. Veterans who've been there, who are not phased, like Kevin De Bruyne, who's won everything, won the treble, who's also been there with Belgium with the best generation they had when they made it as far as they did in the World Cup a few World Cups back. It was interesting to me that they chose the younger players with lesser names, if you would call it, yet they had the results that they had. It was just like they were not phased at all. Amazing.
I think you have to, if you're the coach, or if I'm the coach, I think you have to think a step ahead. I think you have to realize the younger players in the Belgium team are good enough to face the US. And you also have an opportunity to rest your actual superstars for later, for Spain,
Mm.
which that's going to be a whole different game. So if you have an opportunity to do so at the World Cup and you're going to play your cards and take that risk, I told the people that I was watching it with, I was like, this is either a great, brilliant move or a really dumb mistake. So we'll see at the end of the game. And it worked out for them.
It worked out great. The score was a bit. It didn't deserve to lose 4-1. That third goal by the goalie. Oh man.
It was not the goalie only, dude. It was the
It was
goalie
the goalie though.
and the defense. I forget his name.
No,
The guy,
but
the defender. It
no,
was
but
just
listen,
there.
the goalie again also waiting for that bounce. No, you kick it out. What are you waiting for? That was
Yeah.
all goalie. What? Ah, man. So just two super big moments, two super mental mistakes that decide the game because the fourth goal, it's funny that it was Lukaku. Lukaku comes in and scores. Isn't that freaking awesome? Like you can't,
Dude,
you gotta love that.
he's having an
You gotta
amazing
love that.
he's having an amazing. You can't be mad at him. You cannot be
Lukaku
mad at
comes
him. The
in,
guy,
scores.
has that happened every game? Right?
Yeah,
He's happened
yeah.
every game. He's
He
come on.
started in the
He's
yeah, he started in the second game and he didn't score. But
of
every time he
course.
comes on as a sub, he scores right away. It's pretty awesome.
It's incredible. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
good
And
for
then when
Lukaku.
when Doku came on, I was like, it's game over. Like
I
he
think
was
so.
going to be so much faster, and he was going to maintain and keep the ball away from the U.S. It was just the U.S. didn't have a shot when they
No,
came on.
none. And it was such a good timing from the coach because Doku came to just basically kill the game for the US. It's like, nope, as soon as Doku has it, you're done. You're done. He's
Yeah,
gonna get it and he's
exactly.
not gonna give it back and he's gonna mess with you mentally. You're not prepared for this. Your mind was already on but the 2-1 deficit seems so hard. But after that mistake by that goalie, I felt like that was the end right there. That was game.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. When the U.S. scored, when the U.S. scored with that free kick, and you know how there was a little bounce that
Yeah.
kind of messed Courtois up a little, and that's why he couldn't get to the ball. I was like, okay, there is hope. There is hope. Let's see. But when the third goal happened, I was like, oh my God. they are mentally done. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
sad. It's sad. I do hope they don't give up. I do hope that the US does not give up on Pochettino because he has done an amazing, incredible job. I hope they keep him around, and I hope they start to look outside of the Gold Cup and all of the CONCACAF stuff that the US plays and start looking at games against European teams, against African teams, against South American teams, get invited to the Copa America. Like, start getting outside of the CONCACAF if you want to get to that next level.
That's not just up to them though. They have the competitions are within the CONCACAF. That is all about the friendlies, the FIFA friendlies at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
we'll
mean.
see. We'll see what's in store for US soccer. I am not going to sugarcoat it. I am pretty sad, man. And that's the beautiful thing about sports.
I
We
think we all are.
we feel everything. We feel the love, we feel the excitement, we feel the happiness when our team wins. And this is the part of the cup that starts to hurt, that starts to stink a little bit. Because
Mm.
today I also saw, which we're going to talk about in a second, the last Ronaldo game. I saw Portugal, who was
Re-
my pick to win the World Cup, eliminated.
Do
I
you
saw the US, my team, and the team that I was picking for the same day go out. It was not a good day.
Do you remember the question I asked you in yesterday's episode? I
Yeah.
said, "Do you think that we will be watching Ronaldo's last game of the World Cup tomorrow, meaning today?" How did that make you feel? Talk to us about it.
Do you remember what I said?
What did you say exactly? You
I
said you
said
hope
yes.
not.
I said yes, but I felt like it was based on Spain. However, I was surprised watching the Spain and Portugal game. It was one of the most disappointing games
It
that I've
was.
seen in the cup.
It was.
The team that I described yesterday, the Spain of stealing the ball and thieves and fast movement, man, what a terrible marketing job I did for them because I that the team that I described did not show up. Terrible, terrible. And the reason I was even more pissed off or more upset is because the game got decided after the 90th minute, and I was really hoping for extra time
Hmm.
because I was hoping that these guys would turn it around and give us a good game at least the last 30 minutes. It's been such a shitty game. Okay, go to extra times and give us what all the fans have asked for. Please do
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Bring some subs. At the time, Silva had just come on. I forget who else had come on. Just a couple of players had just come on. It's like, okay, just give us something right now. The last 30 minutes, please. And then in a just careless play by Portugal, the game was over just like that. So it
Hmm.
was double disappointed. The disappointment for me. Yeah, I was not happy.
I thought I will say this. I agree with you, by the way. I thought the game was, for the most part, very mundane and very average and kind of boring at times. I will say, out of all of the Portugal games that I saw, which I think was all of them, this was the one game where I saw Ronaldo play the best for the team. And what I mean by that is he
You got
didn't
jokes.
get.
You
No,
got
no, 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 no. Listen,
jokes.
listen,
You got
listen.
jokes.
The reason,
Dale.
the
This
reason
is
why,
my
the
favorite.
reason,
This is my day.
look,
Lost. He didn't score. This was my favorite.
no,
Bueno.
it was here. Here is what I think he did that was
Yeah.
amazing that he did not do in any of the prior games. He got out of the way, and Portugal was able to maintain a much faster pace than they've been playing with. Like, at least in the game against Colombia, which is the one that is freshest in my head.
Okay.
It was so sloppy, and it was so choppy and so staccato because Ronaldo wanted to keep touching the ball. In this game, he was playing without the ball, creating spaces, and he gave an opportunity to the rest of the team to kind of keep the ball rolling and moving a little bit faster. And I was like, okay, now they are getting it. Now they're kind of starting, like, I don't know if you would agree with me, but they, as a team, moved the ball way better than they had in any of the prior games.
They did. They did. But I mean, if you don't score, what does it matter? They played
That's true.
better,
They
but
play better
still,
because he got out of the way. They play better because he got out of the way. And you know what? I do feel sad that he has announced that this is his last World Cup. But
I don't know how it
mark
wouldn't be. I
mark
mean,
my words,
hmm.
the next time you see Portugal play, when he's not around, they're gonna be much more aggressive team. Mark my words.
Mm. It's interesting because Portugal. I picked Portugal because this is the best team overall on paper. I think the best collection
Mhm.
of talent, and I also felt that this was also the emotional push. Having Ronaldo's last dance would be that emotional push that it needed, and unfortunately, it's really disappointing. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
what today? Just thinking about the game today for you, who deserved to win?
Spain, Spain.
Before that goal, still Spain deserved to win.
I think so. I think so. They were putting a little bit more pressure on Portugal. They had better chances. They were managing the ball a little bit better. Yeah, I think in both games, the teams that played better won.
Mm.
Don't you agree?
I don't think it was that big a difference. I think
Hmm.
if Portugal had scored the same way, I would have felt the exact same way. In the sense of not one played better than the other so much that it made such a big difference where they deserved to win more. It was such
Yeah,
a meh game.
yeah. It was
And
a 1-0 game. It
it
was a
was so
1-0 game.
boring. It was so boring. I kept wishing it was back and forth. At least the Mexico England game was so exciting, was so entertaining. At the beginning, when it was 0-0, Mexico was going for it, and England came back. It's such an entertaining game. And
Yeah.
then even even the Norway Brazil seemed more entertaining, even though Brazil clearly was giving the ball to Norway, like see what you could do, and they weren't doing anything. I don't know, maybe because my expectations for both teams, both Spain
We're
and Portugal, were
we're
so high.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you expected more. You expected, okay, this is let's show the fan base. This is what soccer it's about. This is you guys are the best in the world. And Portugal had just won the Nations Cup. This is the same team that won the Nations Cup. What the heck happened to them?
Dude, I'm telling you, we're gonna see a very different team next season. But just wait and see. You'll see. Like
Okay.
once you take that Cristiano factor out of the equation, you're going to see a drastic change. And I think it's gonna be for the better for Portugal. I think it's gonna be a massive improvement. You know what I think the team is gonna feel like? It's going to feel like what PSG felt like when Mbappe left. You'll see.
Interesting. So, there's a lot of drama that had followed the Portugal team. Have you heard about all that stuff? The players not getting along, girlfriends writing an X and Twitter, all that stuff. Did you hear about any of that drama?
I didn't know. I've been so focused on the game that I haven't been paying attention to anything outside.
It's hard for me to pay attention to that stuff because it's all noise at the end of the day. You don't know what is true, what is not. And today, it's interesting. I bring up my uncle because my uncle loves football and he's, an older guy who tends to come up to me sometimes and tell me, "Hey, I saw this awesome game on YouTube. Did you know that Senegal beat England? They're looking good for the cup." I'm like, what do you, when that they never played. They did. Look, I saw it yesterday. It was uploaded yesterday. And it was a game that was uploaded like a year ago. He's always watching games that happened years ago, thinking because people upload them now that they're happening now. And
Interesting.
it's one of those tricks. You know what I'm talking about? So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is
of
he
course.
he is the one who, because he loves Ronaldo. He is the one who kept feeding me news. I know you're never supposed to reveal your sources. My Portugal sources are my uncle's fake
He's the
YouTube,
one that
Twitter.
keeps up with the gossip.
And because he loves Ronaldo, he hates the rest of Portugal all the time. He's like, all these guys are just blocking out. They're making sure they're jealous. They don't want him to be successful. Look at all these
Mm.
people are jealous and all these things. Like, and then he
A
shows
lot of
me.
fans feel that way.
Right, right. That's why I was asking you how true, what have you heard? Because he shows me these clips in which Bruno Fernandez, like Ronaldo goes to greet him, Bruno Fernandez looks away. Like a lot of things like that, like a compilation. Any
Hmm.
narrative that you want to put together, like, oh, they don't like each other. They look at any clips where they could look like they're not liking each other or something like that, and they put a compilation together. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, because when I talked to my uncle briefly after the news, he was just like, yeah, they hate him. He blamed it on the
Mm.
players because they hate Cristiano Ronaldo. And I wonder how many fans feel that way. That's all.
I hope that's not true because he gave so much to that country and that team and the sport in general. Like he has given so much to Portugal. How could you hate him? How could you? Most of those guys were children were when Cristiano was at his peak. Like they probably looked up to him and were like, I want to be like him. How could you hate him? Now you're playing with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. Like I also don't know what the behind closed doors and the locker relationships are like. But how could you hate a guy that literally single-handedly put your country on the map for the sport?
Well, when it comes
You
to
know?
personal relations, it's so different. You know how it is. They always say, don't meet your heroes. You're right.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. How do you deal with heartbreak in sports, brother? What do you do? How do you get
Dude,
over it? There are so many people like us right now that are suffering because their team is out of the cup. This is the time of the cup that sucks because every
mhm,
time we're gonna come on, there's gonna be a new team that's going home. For
yeah,
you at this point, so at this point, guys, we have France left. France is gonna play. Who's France gonna play?
Spain.
Spain.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
And then
No, no,
who
no,
else?
no, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Spain plays Belgium. France is gonna play Morocco. That's who they
France,
play.
Morocco, Belgium,
Yes.
Spain. Do you
Yep.
have any
Yep.
a dog in any of that fight? Anybody that you want that you would be sad if they
Th-
were eliminated?
That I would be sad if they were eliminated. I
Yeah.
think out of those two games, I think I would feel some kind of way if Spain lost.
Okay. The other four, would you feel sad if Norway was eliminated by England? We know that you'd want England gone, or you don't care.
Yes, no, no, I do. I would feel sad. Number one, because I want England gone, and number two, because I want Holland to go as far as possible.
I'm not going to ask you about Colombia. That's a stupid question. What about Argentina? Would you feel sad if Argentina's gone?
I would not feel sad,
Okay.
but I will say that it would be a little bit of a
Love,
pressure wave of air inside me if they won
not
tomorrow
gas,
and then
bro.
Colombia eliminated them in the quarterfinal.
So you want Colombia to eliminate Argentina, is what you're
I
saying.
want I want a Copa America final rematch. That's what I want.
Okay, fair. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so in this case, then you Norway would be make you sad, Spain would make you sad, and Colombia obviously would make you sad. What is
absolutely.
how do you deal with sports heartbreak?
Dude, it's a tough thing for me because like for example, I grew up here. I grew up here in the US. I feel very close to the US. I They lost today and I was kind of mad and angry because I was expecting them to play a lot differently, but it was also like objectively thinking, I was like when you play like that, don't expect to win. And then that feeling of sadness and disappointment kind of goes away because I'm thinking about it with a cold head and saying, you know what, you cannot play like that and expect to win. If they had played amazingly well and lost, I would probably be drinking some sort of like shot right now. You know what I mean? Like, why did this happen?
Yeah,
But it's one of those things where I look at it from you cannot play like that and expect a good result. So
yeah.
I think I'm dealing with it from a not a heart but a head perspective.
I understand what you're saying. Heartbreak is part of sports. You're not gonna win every game. You're gonna follow also storylines within sports that you love. For example, this week is a very sad week for me because LeBron James has also announced that he's leaving the Lakers.
Hmm.
As a Laker fan, anybody who is a Laker fan, I don't know how they would be happy about having a great player still today leave your team, how that would in any way make your team better. So I wouldn't get why anybody would be for that. So we understand heartaches are part of our sports. It's just here is where we have to be able to separate and understand and go through that roller coaster of emotions and be happy and excited. And when it comes to this sadness, to also be able to be grateful. I'm grateful the US did great. I'm grateful that I was able to enjoy this World Cup with the US and hear country road take me home and be able to see that and the joy in the fans and the excitement as I went to sports bars and seeing that and more of a grateful feeling and then whatever freaking emotions you have, whatever sadness, just turn all that same energy, because it's still powerful, into your life and your things and the things that you want to improve and the things that will make your daily life better. And it's the same, it's energy at the end of the day. It's
Hmm.
powerful. So all that sadness, just turn it into gratefulness, just being grateful for that. And then just like, okay, this is what I have to focus on. Because at the end of the day, we love sports. We suffer with them. We enjoy, we laugh with them. But at the same time, at the end of the day, they don't impact our daily lives. And that's where we have to just be able to differentiate
To
of like,
remember.
how invested am I going to be? Am I going to yell at my wife? Am I going to yell at my kids because my team didn't? That's when you just have to just let that shit go. Go for a
Yeah,
run,
yeah.
take some classes, and it's awesome that you have that energy because you feel alive. But use that fucking energy for your life to make your life better and be grateful. So that's what that's what I say.
That's what you. Thank you guys for coming to Diego's TED Talk. If you need any,
Hey, if any of you guys have systems of things that you do to get over heartbreaks, because that's what we were talking about. We were talking about how do we get over heartbreaks. Tomorrow, hopefully, we won't get over heartbreaks. It's going to be a very special day, especially for one of us. Kadir
yeah,
is Colombia. Let's hope that day doesn't come, and then Argentina too for all of our Argentinian buddies. But besides that, anything else, my brother? Or are you ready for tomorrow's game? It's going to be a good show
no,
tomorrow.
I think it's going to be a good show. I think let's just do some predictions. I do want to say that we are down to two teams that are representing us. It's
Yep.
Argentina and Colombia representing all of America. So even if you're not Argentinian or Colombian, but you are from anywhere from Canada all the way down to Patagonia, you got to show some support. I really don't want this thing to end up being all European.
Right. No,
Like
it has.
we got to represent.
Yeah. So, what is your prediction for tomorrow?
My prediction and my hope, Argentina and Colombia make it through.
Okay, but give me some scores. Argentina, Egypt.
Okay, Argentina, Egypt. I do think after Argentina's last game, I think they're going to have to adjust a few screws and tighten a few bolts. And I think that's going to be a healthy score game. I'm going to say 3-1.
Argentina 3,
I'm going
Egypt 1.
I'm going to say 3 Argentina, Egypt 1 or 3-0. I think it's going to be somewhere in that world.
Okay.
What
What
do you
about
think?
Colombia? I think Argentina's going to win 2-0.
Okay. Okay. With Colombia, I have a little bit of a more reserved attitude because I'm going to explain it. I want Colombia to come out hungry. I want Colombia to come out like they want to eat that entire team alive in the first 15, 20 minutes. If they come out like that, I think it's also going to be a very seasoned score. I think Colombia can easily be in the 2 to 3 goals um, score because Lucho Diaz is going to have an amazing game. If Colombia does not come out like that, if Colombia either hesitates or waits for Switzerland to bring the game to them, then I think it's very, very, very highly going to be like a 1-0 game or like a 1-1 game at the end of regulation, which I don't want. I want option one.
Remind me who Colombia has played in the World Cup. Uzbekistan, Portugal, who
Ajá.
else?
Congo,
Okay. And Ghana.
y Ghana.
So they played one Asian team. They played two African teams. And then a
And 1
very
Europe.
good
And
Portugal. Right. You had Portugal, who was one of the favorites, who didn't. This is going to be interesting. I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be closer than people think because it's a
maybe,
European. It's a European. It's going to be 1-0 Colombia.
maybe. I really hope Colombia. I think it's going to depend on the first 15, 20 minutes of the game. I really do.
Okay.
And whether or not Lucho Diaz has his gunpowder ready to go.
All right.
If
Love it.
it's still wet, then maybe it's gonna be 1-0. But if it's nice and dry and ready to fire, I'm looking at a good score. I'm looking at a 2 to 3 goal game.
All right. Let's hope it's a good game. Yeah. Let's hope for everybody that it's a good game. What do you guys think? What are your predictions? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you guys tomorrow
Please do.
after the game. It's going to be a good one. Yeah.
Gonna be a good one. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later.